In the headlines, police arrest 2 vigilantes for raping housewife in Bauchi. Flood destroys houses, displaces hundreds in Plateau community. AFCC arrest Ogun speaker at Lagos airport. Away from Nigeria, Ethiopia, Eritrea forces launch new offensive in Tigray. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Police in Bauchi have arrested 2 suspected vigilantes for raping a housewife at gunpoint in Dogonrua village in Ningi local government area of Bauchi State. Police Public Relations Officer Ahmed Wakil confirmed the incident to Trust TV at the command headquarters in Bauchi. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The police spokesman said detectives attached to Ningi Division received a distress call, after which the 2 suspects were arrested for allegedly raping a wife of one Alhaji Gare. He also confirmed that the 2 suspects conspired to have committed the crime around on August 25th.
On reaching the house of Alhaji Gire, they broke into the room of his wife, where they met the wife sleeping. They approached her on gunpoint and had a carnal knowledge of her. 2 of the principal suspects, Babangida Sule, started on gunpoint. Then Sule, Lawali Sule, as the second. On getting the distress call, the Commissioner of Police, Bauchi State Command CP Umar Mansanda, directed DPO Ningi and his team of detectives swung into action and arrested those 2 culprits, where investigation commenced. The 2 culprits confessed to the crime. Presently, the suspects were here with us, and we're going to charge them to court.
Police have also arrested one Mato Yohana, 27 years of age, for allegedly raping a 3-year-old girl in Jimbin village of Ganjua local government area, which all of the suspects confessed to the crime. We had argument on whether to rape her or not, but I decided I went first, and then my partner did it after me. We were holding them guns at that time, and surely we have committed the crime, and we regretted our actions after we were apprehended by the police. My work as vigilante is to help reduce crime, but I mistakenly committed the crime. Initially, we went to arrest the victim's husband, but we couldn't get him. Then we saw his wife and she attracted us. We did the thing with her consent. Though she saw us carrying our den guns, maybe that is why she agreed. I'm Mato Yohana, 22 years of age. I raped a 3-year-old baby girl. It was an accident, though I am ignorant of the law that raping is a crime. The victims were taken to the General Hospital Ningi for medical examination. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Police in Zamfara State say a notorious kidnapper alleged of various offenses ranging from armed robbery, illegal possession of prohibited firearms, and gun running has been arrested. According to the police, the suspect, who is an ex-serviceman, was intercepted along Abuja-Kaduna Highway. The report.
The suspect, 41-year-old ex-serviceman Said Lawal, was arrested by the police with 1 AK-47 rifle and 1 AK-49 rifle. Other items recovered from the suspected kidnapper were 200 7.6mm rounds of live ammunition, 501 7.62 by 51mm rounds of general-purpose machine gun, GPMG, live ammunition, and 8 empty magazines. The Zamfara State Police Command Public Relations Officer PPRO Superintendent Muhammad Shehu, who paraded the suspect, said the alleged kidnapper specializes in armed robbery, kidnapping, and gun running. He said the suspect is one of the notorious kidnappers who have for long been disturbing the peace and security of Zamfara and neighboring Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, Kebbi and Sokoto states. The PPRO said police tactical and escort team attached to the commissioner acted on intelligence report that led to the arrest of the suspect, who was an ex-service personnel of the Nigeria Army attached to 73 Battalion Janguza Army Barracks, Kano.
Police tactical / escort team attached to the Commissioner of Police, Zamfara State Police Command CP Kola Yusuf, PSC, acted on actionable intelligence that led to the arrest of the above-named suspect, who was an ex-service personnel of the Nigerian Army attached to 73 Battalion Janguza Army Barracks, Kano. The suspect was intercepted with a Pontiac Vibe vehicle with registration number KRD 686CY Lagos along Abuja Kaduna en route Zamfara.
The police said the suspect had, in the course of interrogation, confessed that he was to convey the said exhibits to his customer in Zapa local government area of Zamfara state.
In the course of interrogation, the suspect confessed that he was to convey the said exhibit from local government area of Nasarawa state to his customer, Wandogo Hamza M. of Bacha village in Zapa local government area of Zamfara state.
The suspect further confessed that he had previously supplied the same consignment to his other customers in Kaduna, Katsina, Niger and Kebbi states. The PPRO said police operatives are currently conducting discreet investigation with a view to arresting his associates.
The Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari has handed over operational vehicles to security operatives in the state. While handing over the operational vehicles, the governor called on security personnel to use vehicles effectively. Jamil Mabai has the details.
Nine locally made armored personnel carriers were produced in Kebbi State at the cost of 100 million naira. Governor Masari explained that the operational vehicles would augment weapons being used by the security operatives and the war against terrorism in the state.
We have said to support the operations of security agencies, especially in the front line, local government, and those local government that are equally affected. I think with this 9, we have over 30 APCs now in Katsina. I don't know what the military have, but from what the police and our efforts, I'm sure we have over 30 APCs in Katsina.
This is the first edition of the 9, and the state is expecting the 10th APC to support the operation of security agencies, especially in the frontline local government areas that are equally affected. Masari assured the people that with the massive support given to security agencies, efforts to curtail security challenges in the state would be further enhanced.
I think if we continue and with the cooperation with the general public, because whatever the security agencies are going to do, without the cooperation of the local population, it will be very difficult. And our biggest problem now is the connivance by informants that are given targets. Any abduction or kidnapping inside the communities or inside towns or inside the city is the work of informant. Because the normal kidnapping by armed bandits may be roadblock. You don't know who's coming.
While lamenting over the activities of bandits' informants, the governor appealed to residents to support the state government and the security agencies in the fight against crime and criminality. The governor commended the military and other security agencies in the state for their prompt and speedy response to distress calls.
Jamil Mabai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
Heavy rainfall has destroyed many houses in Tudung Osi of Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The heavy downpour, according to residents, started in the afternoon when everyone was going about their normal activities. For more than a decade, the affected community has been experiencing such floods during each rainy season. The report.
The residents are seen packing their belongings after the destruction by the flood. For more than a decade, the affected community has been experiencing the same incident of flooding, with reports indicating many people lost their lives, including homes. More than 100 houses were affected by the flood, with over 50 destroyed. The affected residents said, apart from the building, the rainfall had also destroyed their properties, including clothes, food items, among others. The flood has taken us by surprise. We have never expected it. It has destroyed my house and that of my neighbors. The entire family has lost a lot. It was a very bad situation. If this has happened in the night, it would have been disastrous. We thank Allah that it has happened during the daytime. We are calling on government and other spirited individuals to come to our aid. It was a flood that put us in this situation. That is what Allah has permitted to happen to us. We have no word to say than to seek Allah's help for what has happened to us. I have lost a lot to the incident. The fence of my house has fallen. Some of the victims pray that they don't experience such a disaster, calling on government to help them with building materials to cushion the effect of the incident. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Kano State Executive Council has approved and directed the immediate marking and demolition of all existing structures built on Kwaring Gogo stream in the metropolis. Also marked for demolition are drainage lines within and surrounding the Kantin Quarry Market, with a view to removing all obstacles that hinder smooth flow of both storm and wastewater in the area. The State Commissioner for Information, Muhammad Garba, disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the Council's weekly meeting held at the Executive Council Chambers, Government House, Kano. The Council also resolved to commence this desilting and evacuation of all blocked drainages within the market and its surrounding, as well as removing of all of building materials deposited on drainage lines within the market. Meanwhile, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has revoked the title of the land of the collapsed building that claimed the life of rescue workers. The governor, during a visit to the scene on Wednesday, said originally the land should be for a parking space only, as it is too small for shop construction. He directed that the place should be converted to parking space. He added that a technical committee will be instituted to look into remote and immediate causes of the tragedy. He urged marketers to cooperate with workers who were excavating debris, adding that after excavating the scene properly, the government will immediately start providing a befitting parking space. 3-year jail term awaits persecuted motorcycle riders, popularly known as Okada riders, and their passengers as the second phase of ban in 4 local government areas of Lagos State begins. This, according to the Commissioner for Transport, Frederick Oladende, is in line with the provision of Section 46, subsection 1, 2, and 3 of the Transport Sector Reform Law, adding that persecuted riders will also have their motorcycles impounded and crushed in the public view. The Commissioner, who spoke on behalf of the Ministerial Committee on Okada, implored the public to join hands together with the state government by complying with the Okada ban, which is geared towards combating the menace created so that sanity can return to the state. Lagos State Government had on August 18 announced the extension of the ban on Okada in 4 more local government areas of the state and their respective 5 local council development areas with effect from September 1. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at menace of street hawking. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Police arrest 2 vigilantes for raping housewife in Bauchi. Flood destroys houses, displaced hundreds in Plateau community. In other news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. Oluomo was arrested over allegations bordering on financial crimes. A staff member at the Assembly who pleaded anonymity said the Speaker was picked up Thursday morning at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, by operatives following a tip-off. Reports say that Oluomo has been on the wanted list of the Commission following his failure to honor EFCC invitation several times. He and some others are accused of forging signatures and financial documents of the Assembly. Experts have described street hawking by minors as a vivid picture of child neglect and exploitation by parents and agents who push young children into what has, for them, become a business for not only survival but for material gains. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal takes a look at the street hawking, especially between the age group of 8 and 15 years in the Federal Capital Territory. The report.
The phenomenon of street hawking has considerably increased throughout the world and most especially in Nigeria. Every year, billions of individuals, mostly female, are forced to submit to servitude. In urban cities where the business is commonly believed to be poverty-motivated thrives, children and women, who are the major role players, face different risks, especially rape, accident, ritual activities, as well as loss of education opportunities. However, parents have been cautioned to desist from sending their wards street hawking, as it is against the Child Rights Act, which has been domesticated in more than 30 states of the Federation.
The economic situation is really dwindling and is going down, and which is also contributing to making a lot of parents send their kids out on the street. But I would say on the part of the government, they really have a major role to play because they are the guardian of these children. If we have better laws in place that protects the Child Act and that has strict punishments to those who default these laws, I believe it can go a long way to curbing this issue.
However, parents decreed the lack of employment and economic hardship as some of the reasons why they indulged their words in street hawking to be able to put food on the table. They made desperate plea to government to regulate the rising inflation currently in the country.
Kids should be in school. They shouldn't be seen hawking at about this time of the day. Even if they have to do it, it shouldn't be during school hours. Yeah, I understand this is summer, but I mean, the government should do something about it. Ensure kids go to school.
I think government now develop interest in this Nigerians individual and creating job opportunity. All this one will not continue.
Government is at the center of it all because without the government, there's nothing the masses can do. Without a strong law in place, there's nothing that can be done. And then you see some children who are on the street. Some of them don't even have parents. How are such children supposed to survive? I feel like the government should make provision, maybe in its budget, that caters for such kids.
Some of the underage children that spoke to our correspondent said the economic situation of the country has made them come out to sell things on street, adding that most of the time their teachers are not available in the school. My parents are not here, but I stay with my uncle, and he has been of help to me. Most time our teachers in the village are not there when we're in school, which made it very difficult for us to learn. My parents are not rich. We have to keep food on the table for ourselves. And I have no option than to arm out and help my parents despite the economic situation. Street hawking is a universal phenomenon which requires urgent attention from all and sundry as it distorts child's development and government policies. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, tobacco multinational corporations in Nigeria and across Africa are contributing significantly to illicit financial flows in the continent through tax avoidance and evasion. This is according to a new report titled Tobacco Industry and Illicit Financial Flows in Africa, conducted by the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, in collaboration with Tax Justice Network Africa. The document focused on spotlighting the extent of the tobacco industry's involvement in tax avoidance and evasion in Africa. Trust TV's Saigir Ibrahim has more.
Some of the findings of the report released by the Tax Justice Reform Network in collaboration with the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, indicated that tobacco companies across Africa have devised new ways to evade tax remittance.
Some of them, they are working with some unpatriotic government officials across Africa to get tax relief, tax waiver, instead of taxing them to pay appropriate taxes that can be used for the development.
Tobacco industry overall, globally, particularly also in the continent, are finding ways of reducing their corporate income tax by managing the prices, under-reporting the prices of the imports that they make, and therefore reducing significantly the profits that they declare to the tax authorities.
The report aims to expose common tax avoidance and evasion strategies employed by the tobacco industry in Africa, and to highlight common tax incentives and other forms of preferential treatment extended to tobacco companies and its subsidiaries between 2010 and 2021.
Our continent has continued to suffer the consequences of corruption as a result of illicit financial outflow, as well as tax evasion, tax avoidance, and corrupting public officials so that they can have their way. This is why we think it is important that we work closely with the relevant government to provide alternative to even those farmers who are actually producing the tobacco on behalf of these companies, because they are not even paying them reasonable amount.
The project that we are working on brings together 5 organizations from across the continent, from Nigeria, from Zambia, from Senegal, from Kenya, among other countries, and DRC particularly. We find that particularly due to the pressure from the tobacco companies that hold a very, very strong power in terms of influencing policies in our different countries. Effort by governments to introduce or raise the tobacco taxes receives many a times huge resistance.
The study, which aims to provide a better understanding of the manipulative practices of the tobacco industry to maximize its profit margins while shortchanging African countries, is expected to serve as an advocacy tool for civil society and tobacco control communities, and also guide policymakers to profile comprehensive strategies to mitigate illicit financial flows through the tobacco industry in Africa. Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
And away from Nigeria, Ethiopia and Eritrean government forces have launched an attack in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray, targeting rebel forces. The Tigray People's Liberation Front spokesperson, Getachew Reda, said on Thursday that both nations' forces had attacked rebels in Adayabo in the north of the region. The conflict resumed last week after a 5-month lull, with clashes on the ground and air raids over Tigray dashing hopes of peacefully resolving the nearly 2-year war. And fighting had been concentrated around the southeastern border of Tigray, with the rebels pushing into the neighboring Amhara and Afar region, sending residents fleeing. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.